Welcome to your business in digital. How are you guys doing this morning?
This is
Good
going to be a
morning.
great Wednesday.
It is going to be an awesome Wednesday. So we have a lot to run through today. So let's jump into the intro. Good morning, and welcome to your business in digital. I am Tamara Molu. Always excited to be here with you guys. Now, your business in digital is where we help you translate your business to digital. We understand that it can be daunting, right? There's so many things to consider, but this is exactly why we do this show. And who is this show for? This show is for the CMO looking to outsource their digital marketing efforts. This show is for the small business looking to scale their business and take their business to the next level. This show is also for that CFO who is just signing away, not really understanding what digital can do for their business and signing away those dollars, wanting to understand a little bit more. So watch the show, listen to the show. This will really help you implement your digital marketing strategies and understand some of the things that you should be doing to move your business forward. So always excited to be here. So quick recap from the last show. You know, we love our recap segment. The last show, we talked about outsourcing digital marketing. Now, it's such an important conversation for a business when they're looking to choose the right partner. And in the last show, we talked about, should you outsource your digital marketing? And absolutely, 100% you should, because you need experts to do digital marketing. We must go beyond likes and follows and get to that place where you're seeing the money in the bank, right? So using a digital marketing team gives you people who are experts, who understand the data, who understand all the things you should be doing to grow your business. What should you look for in a marketing agency? You should look for their expertise. You should look for recommendations from their past clients. And what should you expect from them? You should expect them to drive you results. Digital marketing has so many metrics, and it's about driving results. So you should be able to see those gains when you're working with an agency, because they should really help you optimize the strategies and take things to the next level. How to outsource digital marketing for your business. It starts with you. It starts with having a plan, a solid plan. You need to understand your goals. You cannot go to a digital marketing agency and say, hey, what are my goals? You need to have your business goals. You need to understand what you're trying to accomplish. How are you trying to grow the business? So you can give them that information and they can help you through digital that way. When should you start outsourcing your digital marketing? When you're looking at scaling your business. If you've been doing it for yourself, if you've been doing it in-house, great. You've gotten to the right point. Now it's time for you to take it to the next level when you're looking to really scale the business, because digital can scale your business on so many levels. It gets you in front of people who may be considering your product or your service, but not necessarily your brand. So digital gives you a really good opportunity to get in front of all those right people. Now, how much does digital marketing cost? It costs a little bit. It costs quite a bit, actually. But what you consider is that the money that you're spending is really an investment. And over time, you'll recognize that you'll be spending less money, because if you're working with experts, what will happen is that they will really optimize things in a way where you'll start to see that true ROI from digital. And the ROI from digital can really be quite a bit. So you definitely want to focus on that. Don't get caught up in this initial cost. You may need to get your infrastructure built. You may need to get things really tweaked, but over time, it'll definitely pay for itself. Now, what is a great agency to work with for your digital marketing? I love to say Monovan Digital, right? Our clients talk about us all the time. We're here doing this show talking to you about digital marketing. We bring our clients to the stage. We bring guests to the stage. We help educate you on digital marketing. So we definitely believe that we are the right team for you. So if you are looking for more digital marketing or digital marketing help, jump in and, take our quiz, because we'll talk to you about taking the quiz just now. So bringing in the rest of the team, what did you think about the conversation on Monday?
I loved it. I felt like I told you, I think it was a very relatable conversation because, I mean, as a small business owner, that's how you have to approach your business. You're going to have to outsource a lot of things, and digital marketing is one of them. I felt I related to the topic because my services are something that you outsource as well, because you can't really bring somebody like me in all the time. So I found it was a very relatable conversation and very practical what we were saying in terms of just the considerations I like the little structure that we gave them, and I love that we ended with Monovan Digital. I love the journey that you took them on those 7 points, and then the call to action afterwards was okay, let's go Monovan. So I love that.
Absolutely.
I thought it was important that we spoke about being specialized and being and remaining in your small business in your center of power, your center of greatness, and allowing for you to shine your lanyard to come through as you see fit for you and moving your business forward, and bring other people in to help you to move your business forward. And I thought that was really important for us to continue to push through. You can be a generalist and try to be mediocre at everything and waste a lot of time, or bring the people in like Monovan, like us in Lanyap and your virtual CFO, to help you to move your business forward in places that you're not the wisest in, to help you to preserve your money and grow your money and keep your business sustainable. So I thought it was an imperative conversation for us to have early on a Monday morning and at that. So
yes, early on a Monday morning, as they say, early on a Monday morning. But yes, outsourcing definitely a business question that we ask at many points in business, right? And as we are all saying, it's about bringing in the expert, even if it's to verify what you've been doing. We understand that a lot of businesses may feel despondent because they've been managing it themselves and not seeing that return on investment, right? So all of these are indicators of where outsourcing makes sense, right? At least look into it.
At least look into it. So, full of course for every people. All right. So let me get the good stuff out of the way. So guys, we want you to connect with us. Connect with us on YouTube at Your Business in Digital. We are trying to grow our YouTube channel. So subscribe, tell everyone about it. Tell every small business about it. Tell every CFO, CMO, anyone trying to scale their business, tell them about this show, because we really help you translate your business to digital. We are on YouTube. We're live on LinkedIn as well. Check us out at Your Business in Digital. Also, we are found everywhere podcasts are. We are on Spotify. We are on Apple. We're on Amazon. We're on Google. We're just everywhere. So follow, subscribe, check us out, stay connected, and definitely share with any business owner you know that's thinking about digital, that's talking about digital, that's looking to scale and grow their business. The other thing we want you to do is we want you to take our quiz. Now, what does the quiz do? It really assesses the effectiveness of your online presence. So what does that mean? It tells you what's working and what's not working, right? It gives you a little bit of a blueprint when you take this quiz to really understand, am I leveraging my digital marketing or my online presence to really the fullest extent to get that revenue in the bank? When you take this quiz, you will quickly understand what's working, what's not working, and it gives you a little bit of a blueprint. So as I like to say 3 times all the time, take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. Scan the QR code if you are watching on your laptop, if you're watching on your desktop. If not, go over to the YouTube channel. Once this is live and published, we'll make sure that the link is in the comments. Take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. All right. I did all the things, all the call to actions. Thank you. That was a weak round of applause, Michael. I just want to let you know that. I feel like it didn't even finish. Now you're like, okay, you're doing it consistently. It's fine. All right. So we are moving on to our hot topic section. So guys, guess who's doing the hot topics today? It's going to be me. So we have an interesting hot topic for you today. Today we are talking about YouTube. So, I have to thank Michael for this, because Michael gave me this hot topic. I'm sometimes like, what? A hot topic? What do I need to do? And Michael is the hot topic king. I was about to say queen. I don't know why. Michael is the hot topic king. So this one was good. When he sent it to me, I was like, yes, this is perfect. I knew about it already, but it definitely reconfirmed some things to me. So YouTube makes community posts available to all channels. You're like, YouTube has a community post section? Yes, absolutely. There is a community post section on YouTube. So community posts is where you can actually go and, post things like quizzes. You can post stuff like just, regular images, just like you do on Instagram, just like you do on Facebook. So what YouTube is doing is that they've really collected all the things great of all the social media elements and they've popped it into your YouTube channel, right? There is a podcast section, there's a section for live, and now there's a section where you can post information, which we really love that. And when I got the information from Michael, I was like, all right, let me go double check, watch some YouTube videos to learn a little bit more about it, right? Because what else would you do? So I went onto YouTube and I just started looking at videos. And can I tell you, this feature was released probably a year or so ago to people that had maybe over 1,000 subscribers. So what was interesting about it is that they also pick up in people engaging with their stuff, right? So it really allows you to engage more with your target audience. You can use polls, you can use quizzes. Now, there's one thing, and I have to say this. I can't believe I'm going to say this out loud, and it's going to be recorded. It's only available on Android, coming soon to iOS. I am not getting that applause. That is all Michael. It also provides disappearing updates and more. Right now, okay, boo-hoo, it's not on iOS yet, but it's going to be there pretty soon. So we're excited. Apple folks, don't get despondent. Android folks, I see you guys pulling the parade together already.
Where's my side eye? Hold on.
Relax. But so why should you even consider community posts? Now, if a part of your strategy as a small business is to really grow your YouTube channel, and there's a lot of opportunity when you grow your YouTube channel, right? There's an opportunity to monetize YouTube. There's an opportunity to really get in front of those people that are searching for you. Because when you think about YouTube, YouTube is really Google, right? So Google is leading this effort. So why should you use it? Community posts can give you more reach on YouTube. So when you post something in your community, it gets in front of that target audience. There are also keywords associated with it. So it's the same search principle that applies, but it gets you in front of more people that are your target audience. The other opportunity is that there's greater engagement with your audience because now you can do polls, you can do quizzes, those disappearing posts, you can do those things. You can add an image, you can add a 30-second video, you can add a GIF, whatever you want, you can add there. So that allows for greater engagement with your target audience. And then the other opportunity is to really grow your subscriber base. Because you're engaging with people that are in your target audience, it means that there is an opportunity for them to subscribe. Now, the great thing about these community posts is when you look at it on mobile, right at the top, right over the post, there is a subscribe button. So there's a quick call to action for you to subscribe to the channel. So if people are engaging with, say, for instance, a poll or a quiz, then if they're really intrigued, they'll come through, they'll hit that subscribe button and they'll come through and maybe take in the rest of your videos. So definitely, if YouTube is a channel or strategy, part of your strategy, you want to make sure that you're looking at this part of YouTube. It could be game changing. We're going to start playing around with it in the next week or so, start getting some of our posts up there, and we'll definitely come back and let you guys know how things are going with the YouTube community posts. So, all right, team, I said a lot. What do you think?
This was a nugget. This was definitely a nugget.
Aw.
We don't want to miss these platform updates. Sometimes they pass undetected for a long time. So you have that benefit of early adoption. I love that YouTube has opened it up to all the accounts and not just the 1,000 plus 4,000 hours. So they've removed that barrier to entry. So it's something to take you to absolutely make use of. And it's YouTube absolutely recognizing that we interact in different ways, in multiple ways on any platform. So I love those points that you raised. It's definitely an engagement piece. I immediately thought from the operation side of it, a disappearing post. So when we're posting, for the show, for the live show, and have that disappear automatically at a time, that's that little bit of time that you're saving. Just multiply that going down the road. So there's some really good uses inside of there. So I love it. Great hot topic this morning.
After I got over the salty portion of it not being on iOS and my side eye for it, let's just be real. It's, missing the majority of the community. I'm going to put it out there and fight me on it. People, just fight me on it. But I think it's phenomenal because the other component of it is we're all consuming and there in the visual component, but there is nothing like that interaction that comes from the engagement that helps to boost that social proofing of it all and pulling people into conversations. I think that helps with a lot of the organic look that we're looking to have in this, and to have people come in and to participate, and for us to have that, the flexibility that we were looking for and seeking, and being able to come to the party without having that high threshold, I think is actually, phenomenal, and will help a lot of small businesses and a lot of small shows grow into something and bring a different community of people in. So I'm looking forward to it, despite having to wait because I'm not on that thing. Just saying, Michael, I'm throwing the shade. I am.
Time to switch.
No, not happening.
That is so salty. So salty. But I love that it really is going to help small businesses grow. I mean, they need all the help that they can get, and these little advancements and little tools and tweaks and stuff that these apps are offering. Just as Michael said, it's the pathway to efficiency, little by little, being able to save time and just do things easily. But I love that it's that engagement part, so that a business owner could feel more connected to their audience, and feel like they could get more information out of them, they could share more information. And of course, when that relationship is strong, there's a pathway to money, right? When that relationship is strong. So always there is a pathway to money can come back, if I use this tool. So I love that about it.
And well, I really love that it's called community, because we understand at the heart of every small business that there is a community. And if you're building community, right, while we're all looking to sell, get more revenue, all that good stuff, if you're building community, what you're doing is you're keeping your target audience and your ideal customers in a space where they're always connected with you, where they're always learning more about you, where they're seeing personality, where they're seeing all the things to say, hey, when I'm ready to buy, these are the people that I can buy with, right? So YouTube is giving you an opportunity to continue to build that community and host that community in a space. So that's what I really love about it. And, even with the disappearing post, I think, Mike, you've made such a great point. There's an opportunity for you to, hey, put something up, and the people that see it, and then they can show up in a place. So you can do so many things to get deeper with the community and connect on a deeper level, which is really important, because community building is really what is the revenue driver, right? And we've seen that over time.
I thought it was interesting too, how when they're coming in and trying to do and better understand the landscape of the competition, and taking components of what works well in Facebook. That's a huge component of Facebook, and the groups there and the community that's shared there, and how many people are adding others to groups. I think of a number of them where I only know about them because someone has tagged me or pulled me into them. And it's taking the long form video that we know is important, have added the shorts and added the lives in, and they're taking components that have been a competitive disadvantage and now adding it to their lineup and making it part of their land app. There's something extra that says, I got you in any way that you want the information to be consumed. And I got history, but if you don't want to see it, I'll make it disappear too. And if you start thinking about the way they position themselves in a sales fashion, in a competitive fashion, for what we know sooner or later they're going to monetize other components of it, they're setting themselves up for that success and say, come at me. Come at me, competition. I've got it, and I've got the community of people to prove it, and the advertising that's available for people to monetize their business. So when I come at you and put a price in front of you, think of all the things that they're going after people for with YouTube and charging that monthly subscription for. Now the ad dollars are going to come in, and they're saying, come to me in a professional landscape, because I can help you sustain your business in these ways, in community format that you find so appealing. in Facebook, the ways that you're looking for things in LinkedIn, the educational and long and short form that you're finding in TikTok, the engagement. Hello, young people, come to me. I've got you in different formats. And I think, again, I ain't liking that whole Android thing, but I'll get over it. I'll be fine.
Oh, Michelle is muted.
I'm salty, Max, salty on that.
I'm a little salty, but we're fine. It'll come very soon, and you can still use it. Michelle has a laptop. She can still use it on her laptop. It's fine. So the iOS folks, we will survive it for a little while, but hurry up, Google. We're waiting on you. But I think, again, if YouTube is a strategy for you, this is something you want to look into. Don't sleep on this. It could be really good. What we see with these platforms is whenever they put something new forward, they really push it. So I think that's important as well, too. So if you're a small business and you're doing YouTube, really lean into it. I love when we jump in and we get into 100% utilization of a platform, right? Because then we really start understanding how it works for us. And then maybe there's something we can give up, something else that we don't need to use at that point in time. So definitely check out the community posts in YouTube. All right. So go ahead. You had something else to say, Michelle? No? Okay. All right. So we are moving on today, guys. Whew. Oh my gosh. I think I have to give a drum roll. A drum roll. So we're moving on to our Beyond the Likes section. Go Beyond the Likes. We love our Go Beyond the Likes section. And this one is an amazing one. Today we are bringing to the stage with us the incredible Marlon Hill, and we're going to be talking about safeguarding your small business, understanding the legal landscape. Welcome, Mr. Hill. How are you this morning?
Good day. I'm scared walking into this lion's den of Twitterati, Twitteratis, YouTubers. But it's great to be with you.
You have here with you, you have a CFO, you have a sales and pricing strategist, operations and marketing. So we're not all, we're not.
Well, listen, the boardroom is full.
The boardroom is full. So Marlon, thank you so much for joining us. Please introduce yourself and tell the people who you are.
Well, good day to everyone here on the channel. My name is Marlon Hill. I am an international business lawyer based in Florida, Miami, but operating globally. And basically, I'm a business lawyer representing creative entrepreneurs, nonprofits, family-owned companies, just helping businesses start a legacy in their bank account and also to leave a legacy in the communities that they do business in and that they serve. And that's why I'm here.
Oh, Marlon, it's always a pleasure to have you here. We met you on Clubhouse, which was awesome. And then, it was just great to connect with you. I refer to you as the Caribbean ambassador. The ambassador to the Caribbean, because you do such an amazing job of staying connected with the Caribbean. Being from Jamaica, we're from Trinidad, but you do such a great job of staying connected with the Caribbean and really also keeping the pulse of what's going on in the US. So we love having you on the show. And we know there's so many things to talk about from a legal standpoint, right? So we're going to let you jump in a little bit and kind of give us a little bit of an overview of exactly what it is you do and what we should be thinking about as small businesses as we move through the legal portions of our business, because I know that can sometimes be daunting. Digital is daunting, but the legal parts are like, I need a lawyer.
Yeah. I think it's a little bit more simpler than people think, right? In terms of some of the things that you should be considering. As a small business operating in the digital space, irrespective of where you are operating from in the world, I don't care if you're in Johannesburg or you're in Doha or you're in Port of Spain or you're in Atlanta, Georgia, or wherever you are. Simply, everyone has an idea or dream or something that they believe they can bring to the marketplace that they can offer to someone else at the best price possible, right? So right now, as someone is watching this program, there may be some new idea or service that you want to provide, right? So I believe, Tamara, that starting and building a small business really comes down to 6 words that have really resonated with me for the for the last year that you need to be thinking about when you think about your business plan, right? You're going to be dreaming, right? You're going to be planning, right? You need to protect, and then you need to build, sustain, and preserve, right? Those are the 6 words, I believe, for every digital legacy business, right? Dream, plan, protect, build. Thank you, Michael, for the applause there. DJ Michael with the applause. Dream, plan, protect, build, sustain, and preserve. Those are the 6 words. What do I mean by that when I say these 6 words? It's really a roadmap, right? So after you come up with your idea, Monovan Digital, go beyond the likes. We want to take this business beyond just being a heart or a thumbs up, right? We want to go beyond the initial reaction to a business. So once you start coming up with this idea, Tamara, then you need to kind of figure out, how am I going to take this idea globally? That's the planning. That's the planning stage, right? So you need to come up with, just like we have here on our team, you have the finance folks, you have the marketing folks, and then you have the operational folks. Those are the 3 main areas for any business. I don't care what size you are, whether you're a one-person entrepreneur startup business, or you're a family-owned business, or you're even a multinational conglomerate, right? You need to have your finances in order. You need to have an operational plan, and you need to exactly find out how you're going to go beyond the likes in terms of marketing, right? So that's your plan. The 3rd letter word that I wanted to kind of share today is that protect. You got to protect your idea, right? So just like go beyond the likes, if you check it out, it's a registered trademark. It's a slogan, right? A name, a brand. You want to protect that name, trademark, right? If you have content, photos, video, audio, any original content, you want to make sure that you register and protect that content, and to make sure you're using any other content that's created by anyone else. So that's protect. So you dream, you're planning, and then you're going to protect some of those important ideas that you have. After you've done that, those are some of the basic things, Tamara. Then you're going to start building. How are you going to start building? Well, do you need to raise money? Do you need to build a team? Do you need more resources? Whether you're going to outsource, whether you're going to collaborate, whether you're going to joint venture with someone else. How are you going to get this product or this service to the world, right? And this is where you start to scale and figure out how you're going to scale. And in building, this is the place where a lot of people make mistakes, Tamara, because in building and establishing these relationships, you got to make sure these relationships are in right. So if you're hiring a designer, or you're hiring, engaging a distributor, or you're outsourcing to someone else a part of your operations, you want to make sure that you have these third-party agreements to kind of protect you. It's basically like any other relationship, Tamara, whether you're dating or whether you're in business, you gotta set expectations, right? You gotta set expectations.
Prenup.
Prenup, right? You gotta set expectations. It's not personal. It's just, setting the boundaries, setting the expectations, and really just kind of having a transparent communication on what a successful relationship looks like, right? So that's when you're building. After you're building and you're growing and you're seeing the margins and you're seeing, you see the balance sheet and you go, oh man, 5% growth, 10% growth, 2% growth. Or sometimes you may go down and you go, what's going on? What's happening here in the marketplace? Why things are going down? So you got to start thinking more creatively now of sustaining what you have built, right? That's really, it's one of the hardest parts of a small business, Tara, because that's, this is really when you've gone a few years now, you kind of get a little comfortable, maybe complacent. And this is the place where you're supposed to be reimagining, shaking things up, disrupting, kind of, looking at the marketplace. And in the boardroom, when you bring your salespeople in and you bring your operational people in and you bring your marketing people in, you ask, what can we do different to kind of sustain what you have built, right? And that's when you will be having those conversations on changing the structuring of your company, maybe even considering a merger or an acquisition, or getting rid of part of your operations that is not carrying its weight. You're basically reimagining what you have built. And then the last of the 6 words in safeguarding your small business that you have dreamed, planned, protected, built, sustained, and now you're going to move to the process of preserving. I really want to encourage all the small business owners out there, all the boss ladies, all the boss guys who are so busy in the weeds. Please make sure that you are filled out your estate planning, legacy documents, protecting all the assets, maybe even finding out who's going to take over this business. How are you going to exit? How are you going, because who you are as a CEO at 30 is a different consideration of who you are as a CEO at 55 or 60, right? So you got to get your business ready for that type of preserving, transferring to the next generation. So those are the 6 words I want everyone to forget: dream, plan, protect, build, sustain, preserve. And I think that you will be well on your way in safeguarding your digital business for the future.
We love that. We love that. Mike, I'm going to kick it over to you because I'm sure you have some questions.
No, I just felt to run off of the show and get back to my business plan, get back to our business plan, start looking at it with a different lens. Marlon, thanks. I think those 6 words hit absolutely all points. I feel it's not a data-driven, it's a feel. I feel we put protect last a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And especially in my seat, dealing with the contracts, dealing with client contracts, dealing with vendor contracts. As we grow, I can feel the hairs on the back of my neck tingle more, right? So I guess my first question to you is, do you agree that most businesses forego that protect part? And what are the signs that, of course, it's always a balancing of resources for small business as we grow. And what are those signals that trigger me to say, listen, I need to reach out to you?
You don't want to get a friendly letter from someone across the world saying, hey, you're using a slogan in my business line of business, or you're using content, especially in the digital world, Tamara, you know this well, right? You gotta make sure that you do an inventory of the assets that you have from a digital standpoint, right? Names, slogans, logos, photos, videos, music. You don't want to use any original content created by someone else, right? This is something that many small businesses they believe that, it's the world wide web. I can use what I want. No, you can't, right? You're going to start your business from the very beginning. You want to make sure that you buy all the domain names associated with your brand, right? Because your trademark is alive on social media in the digital space, right? So you want to make sure that you secure all the social media handles. This is after you've done a search, Michael, right? You've done a search and you've really vetted that your brand is not being used by someone else across the world. You're not the only brilliant person on this earth, so you want to do a search. And sometimes the search costs some money, Michael, but it's maybe worth it. It's like $700, $800. But you can do a cursory search on the internet. Check the domain names, right? Just because you don't see something out on Google doesn't mean that it doesn't exist on another digital platform, right? You want to make sure that your brand has a clear runway for takeoff and landings. Takeoff and landings. You don't want any other planes coming on your airport. You want a clear runway to kind of protect your brand. And you're right, Michael. Many people forego protect this one of the 6 words is very, very important because it's the one that could cost you from building and sustaining, right? Why are you going to go through this whole brilliant 3 a.m. idea when you're journaling and you start planning, and then you jump protecting and start building? It really doesn't make you. That's where we make our living. But I'd rather make more living on a company that's building and sustaining than trying to fight what they're trying to protect.
Absolutely answers it. And I will circle back with my next question as we have Michelle here. But of course, it's going to be, I'm just going to give you the heads up, it's around AI. So when we're talking content, are we going into regions of protecting brand voice and things like that, those intangibles that were not covered necessarily before? But that's another question. You can answer that later.
Yeah.
Just let you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marlon, as usual, what I'm taking from my Clubhouse days over to this space, it's still the same when you are in the room, and that I have virtual, audit notepads. If I could stand up and write at my dry erase board, I certainly would, as I had literally opened my OneNote and started taking notes when you came in, as you started giving off the 6 words that are so important in this conversation that we're having today. You prompted me to think about a couple of things that I want you to touch on and just pull the thread a bit more on. And it's directly related to partnerships. And that this is a big thing. We actually covered this in great detail on one of the shows, and the importance of not just living alone in your world and in partnering with other people, as we do in this space, to move your business forward and make it stronger, and how that can be important. But can you talk about when it's important to begin engaging and protecting someone like you when we are thinking about partnerships, and when the red flag should begin to go up for us, and that maybe we need to hit the pause button to consider a different route in protecting the best interest of your business, and how it can take off and derail us?
Michelle, like I said earlier on, it's really like in the wild world of personal relationships, right? Dating or marriage or partnerships, it's no different, right? Sometimes you get it right, and sometimes you get it really, really right, and sometimes it goes terribly wrong. Okay, how do you benefit from both? How do you learn from both, right? So in having a company, you may also be in partnership with family. You may be in partnership with a college friend. You may be in partnership with someone from work. You may be in partnership with someone that you just met in the digital space, right? It's very important for you to just really have a transparent understanding of expectations as to what each person brings to the relationship, right? Is it money? Is it services? What are you sharing? What are you giving, right? And what are both of you going to take from the relationship? So one of the reasons why you incorporate, no matter what country you're in, you want to separate your business affairs from your affairs, right? That's why you incorporate. The reason why you incorporate, whether it's an incorporation or a limited liability company, an LTD, whatever the variation is in the jurisdiction that you may be watching this program from, the reason why you incorporate are 2 primary things. They're tax reasons and liability reasons, right? And no matter what type of business you may be in, the exposure that you have, you want to have that type of agreement. If it's a corporation, it's a shareholders agreement. If it's an LLC, which is a limited liability company, you want to have an operating agreement. This kind of delineates the relationships with the people who are leading the business, the people who are funding the business, right? How decisions are being made, what decisions, how much money can be spent. If you're going to spend us over a certain amount of money, Michelle, it needs to be unanimous, as opposed to a lesser amount that you may have a singular authority to make decisions. Those types of decisions are very important in those partnerships. Those are partnerships with founders and persons that own the business or manage the business. Some of the other partnerships, Michelle, are outsourcing, right? Let's say you are in a joint venture for providing services, whether it's sales, whether it's you may even outsource Andrea, and she's providing your back house, managing your accounts receivable, managing your accounts payable. You want to have an agreement that determines exactly what's the scope of work, how is she going to be paid, when is she going to be paid. Let's say that her company is not necessarily delivering the scope. How do you terminate? How do you separate in a manner that doesn't take you to court? Because it costs a lot of money to go to court. We're not independently wealthy entrepreneurs and small business owners. We're more likely than not hardworking people. Why would you want to waste your working capital in court? So your agreement, your partnership agreement, your joint venture agreement, Michelle, is going to really outline how you may separate. It may even have, how do you resolve disputes? Being in court is not the only place that you can resolve disputes. You may say, listen, when we have a disagreement, let's have a third party help us negotiate. Let's say that doesn't work out. You can go to mediation, right? And so the court should be the last resort, right? Because it costs so much money and we don't want to waste money. The CFO would tell you, listen, we need to put money where we get the biggest bang for our dollar, so our margins continue to increase and we continue to build and sustain the business. So those partnership agreements, joint agreements are very important, Michelle, in safeguarding. It's safeguarding the relationship. It's really putting some boundaries of expectations so that everyone is clear. When X happens, this is how we address it.
I appreciate you saying that, because I one of the things that I know we hear as we're going into this, or we see in the media, because it becomes a PR nightmare. In some instances, we're learning from someone else's, problems and their stumbles, is that I think it's important to bring someone like you, an expert in the space, as we spoke about outsourcing previously, that specializes in a space, to make us think of the things that we don't naturally think of. We work with each other and may be comfortable with each other and enter this agreement. But what about if that person outsources part of their work or affiliated with that other person? How does that affect the agreement that you have? The unknowns that we don't know what we don't know because we've never entered that space. And that might seem all well and fine in a small stumble, but the legal stumbles that could prevent us preserving and sustaining our business as we move forward in it, I think is something that gives me pause as I think about the things that we see on TV and online from someone else's legal nightmare in a grand way, with numbers of zeros that we don't have just yet. But it's a lesson that, while we're in this smaller space that we're trying to learn, that I'm observing, to say, how do we move that forward, and then come forward and not be shy and actually put that on the table to have the conversation. And I think we do it in some small spaces, like somebody helps to build your website. Somebody helps to, Michael talked about AI, but helps you to develop the verbiage that you're using. And you may not find out till later that, they cribbed that from somebody else, and now you're liable for it. And how do we accommodate something like that? Because we've not thought that through.
That's a very good point. I mean, many times when we enter into these third-party relationships, Michelle, you have to be very clear as to what that person is doing for you, and whatever it is that they did for you, who owns what they created for you, whether they designed source code, whether they designed graphic design, websites, especially in the digital space, is it commissioned work for hire content that you're engaging this person for? Those are important considerations, because in the digital space, who's the original creator, right? And you got to give credit to the creators. And when you are creating, you have to be very clear as to how much are you going to give up? How much are you giving up, with what you created, right? And if it's valuable to you, then it's going to cost more for you to give it away, right? You may just want to license it, meaning that you give someone permission to use what you've created for a certain time period at a certain cost, and then it comes back to you. And we can talk about those negotiations depending on the relationships. But again, having those transparent discussions up front and trying to memorialize them in a very simple agreement can save a lot of headache and save a lot of money that you're trying to pass on to the next generation.
Thank you. I could go on and on, but I'm going to pass over to Andrea because I know she's got a couple of questions. But thank you. I appreciate it. And I've got more for later.
Marlon, you are killing it today. Go for it, Andrea.
Oh my God. So of course I had so many questions in my head. And I was like, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. So I'm gonna choose the one that I'm gonna stay along the preserve word, right? When we talked about preserving and that sort of thing. And talk about, and this is a topic I feel about because when I speak to clients, I'm not a lawyer, of course, but I do try to show them the ramifications of, just as you said, court is expensive. Could you please do the things in advance that helps prevent you going to court? Make sure you have your documents vetted by a lawyer, etc. Trying to encourage that they bring on proper legal people to do certain things, right? But one of the topics that I have found myself as a financial person speaking to business owners about is about how the legal structure impacts your finances in terms of how you compensate yourself, how you get how you get financing, etc., and how you preserve, right? How do you leave this thing back? And I find that a lot of business owners struggle with the fact that they just thought, well, I'll just register and that's it. And I don't think they see the linkage between your legal structure, the thing that that legal arrangement that you have, however you registered your business, and how it impacts the preservation. Well, I'm going to use the word the preservation part of this thing. So talk a bit about that, how that impacts. And
Yeah,
I guess the challenges that you've had with it.
Absolutely, Andrea. I mean, it's very important when you're in the dreaming and the planning stages. And who are you dreaming and planning? We're here together as if we're around the dinner table or in the living room, and sometimes you're dreaming and planning with family. Sometimes you're dreaming and planning with girlfriends. Sometimes you're dreaming and planning with your friends from social or social circles, and putting down on paper those relationships and the ownership interest is an important part when you get to the preserving, right? Part of owning a successful small business is really a journey in mitigating and eliminating your exposure to risk, because it's really, you're taking a chance on your own brilliance, right? To start this business, invest money in it, right? And ultimately, that's what you're doing. You're minimizing and eliminating risk, so, and the better you are at it, the more that you will have to preserve for the next generation, for your family, right? So when I talk about protecting, it's like buying real estate. Real property, Andrea, is real estate. Intellectual property is real estate of your intellectual brilliance, right? Having a deed, when you register the trademark and the copyright, you get certificates. These are deeds of things that you own, of real estate in your imagination, right? So these are assets that you're protecting. So that in the same way, when you have an agreement of your ownership structure, the board and your shareholders, and the shareholders agreement and the operating agreement, that's another documentary evidence of protecting and safeguarding your business. When you have your will and your trust as to how you want your affairs to be handled, that's another documentation of your legacy, of how you want your business and your legacy to be transferred, right? So these are not things that you can afford to overlook, right? And it's a small investment of hiring a lawyer or speaking with a financial professional, speaking with a risk advisor, it's basically, you have to create your own advisory board in a Tamara. You can't, you have to have a banking advisor, financial advisor, marketing advisor. These are operational advisor. You got to expand your support system. And when you expand your support system, Andrea, what you're basically doing again is minimizing the risk of doing something that may cost you at a later date. You may not be able to eliminate all risk in it, because every type of business comes with some exposure to risk. But I promise you, if you can create a support system to safeguard you from more risk, you'll be able to preserve more and pass it on to your family and your kids, or your whoever it is that you, or you may even choose to even create a nonprofit side of your business. You may say, listen, I want to make an impact in X issue in the community. Create a foundation for your company, and so that there may be a tax benefit associated with having a nonprofit arm to your company. You make an impact in the community, and you save some money on your balance sheet as well.
I love that. I love that. And it speaks it speaks to, business owners understanding what they want to achieve first, right? It speaks to them having that goal in mind to say, well, okay, this is what I want to do. And then when you understand that, you could then apply the legal principles that need to be applied, right? For some business owners, we speak about preserving. Their idea of preservation may not be passing it down to their family. It may literally be, well, let's preserve this, and when I'm ready to retire, I'll sell it, and I'll take what I can get, and and I will retire at that point. That's a conversation. But business owners need to have the thought in order for proper structure to be put in place. And that's, I find a lot in my conversations with business owners, sometimes they have not thought about it. When people come to me and I ask, well, what are your goals? I no longer do it, but I used to do business registrations here in Trinidad. And I found myself, when I asked the question, so what is it that you want this business to do for you? They kind of struggle with the answer. And I asked, do you want generational wealth, or is this just a side hustle for you? I said, because it's two different things. If you tell me that you have a full-time job and I just trying to make some extra money, well, that's different than if you tell me, listen, I'm trying to provide for my family and I'm trying to build a legacy, and I just feel like there's a part of the conversation that they're not having within themselves.
Yeah.
And with
it's a big struggle. It's a big struggle, Andrew, because there are many people that are working on the mortgage paying job right now, but want to pursue another passion, and the side hustle is a viable business. And they're trying to figure out how to make the leap from the mortgage paying job to the viable side hustle, which is a real thing for many people and many small business owners. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you still are dreaming, planning, protecting, and building, right? Exactly. Just because it's a side hustle doesn't mean that you stop, right?
Exactly.
Because you have to kind of go through that process to make a determination if you can make that leap from the mortgage paying job to this viable side hustle passion that you have. It's a real dilemma that many small business owners have, because bills have to be paid, family has to be taken care of, but it's still doable if you kind of go through the motions of building that support system, building those relationships that are viable, that could help you to really walk across the bridge, and for the small business to become the full-time hustle away from the mortgage paying job. That's a real reality that many people have across the world, that we have to acknowledge. But it is doable if, in fact, you want to put in a little bit more effort with trying to figure out how much do you really need when you speak to your financial advisor, CFO, to leave. You need 3 months, you need 6 months. What do you really need to kind of feel comfortable? Again, risk. What is the risk? If I leave and I start this business today, what am I risking? And so how do you mitigate that risk so you can turn off the switch and go for it?
Mitigate the risk, turn off the switch, and go for it.
I love it.
For sure. So Marlon, it's something the other day we were talking about Google and the Google verification process. And so a lot of these social media platforms now have verification processes, right? So you can pay $14 or $15, I think, on Facebook and Instagram. You can pay whatever is happening on Twitter, you can pay there as well too. It's a little bit of the wild, wild west, but we'll leave that alone. But Google, very interestingly, you don't have to pay. You need to have your business trademarked. And that trademark is what you need to upload for the verification process for Google. And man, when we presented that here in our Hot Topic segment, and I was just like, unbelievable. Not unbelievable. It actually makes a lot of sense, right? So what are your thoughts on that? And I know how you feel about trademarks, so I would love for you to talk a little bit about, how you feel about a business making sure that they have their trademark, because you've helped us with our Go Beyond the Likes trademark. We definitely need to get our other trademarks together. But just imagine that we started talking to you in 2020. You really pushed the trademark legacy conversation, and Google is now saying to verify your business on Google, you need to have your trademark. So what are your thoughts there?
My thought is very simple, Tam. You need to secure your place in the digital real estate world. You need to have your square that you're standing on, that no one else can step into your space, right? This is a big, big decision. If you do this very earlier on, when you secure your space, your square, no one else can really mess with your authenticity. Your name, your slogan, it may be a color, it may be a sound associated with a trend, whatever it is that that really underscores your authenticity. Wherever you're walking in the world, you need to make sure that it's secured. And once you secure that real estate space, no one can take it away from you ever, right? So it's important, right? So Google doesn't have to worry about all of these disputes in the back office of their complaints of you being in conflict with someone else. So you're not the only brilliant person on this planet, right? Who's the first person that used that name? The only way to verify it for sure is that you have it registered in the markets that you are doing business, right? So just because you may be doing business in Trinidad doesn't mean that you couldn't do business in Brazil, right? But if your markets and your customers are in certain countries, just spend the extra money to get the brand or the slogan registered in those countries so that you can carve out your space on the digital real estate. It will really it's generational protection, right? You may have to renew it after a certain number of years, but go ahead and do it. And the same reason, if you have photos, video, any type of content that you believe is valuable to the integrity of your business, come up with a plan to protect that content, right? Because if you have to go to court to fight for your name or fight for your copyright, then you have evidence of your ownership in the digital real estate.
That was a great question and leads me right into mine. How has AI impacted trademarking and copywriting so far? Is there anything I should be looking for as a small business off the bat where you've seen AI? Of course, they let it loose into the world, right? They thought it'd be used for all these good things, and that's just not what we do.
Michael, I'm not even going to venture down the path of your trap of trying to tackle AI. It's a moving target right now, Michael. Whatever your original content is, if you believe it's being used by someone else without your permission, after you have done what we have discussed, you're in a better position to challenge it being used, being commercialized without your permission, right? So whether it's artificial or whether it's real or whatever, however you define it, if it's your name, your content, your design, you need to protect it. And you need to make sure that people are not artificially using it. Right? We can have another conversation another day about AI, but the bottom line is that no one can use your content in a real way or artificial way without your permission. If you see any content, any video, any music, any photos that that you created or your team created out there in the digital universe, you can make a decision which battle or which war you want to start.
Good answer. Makes sense. I think just the only add-on answers I've seen where, some film studios, I believe it's MGM, have gone as far as saying, don't include my content in your AI training models, right? So is that just the first path?
Yeah, I mean, people are going to be monitoring. There's going to be greater monitoring across the digital universe as to how people are using content. Now, of course, you can discuss fair use, whether you're using it for newsworthy purposes or critiquing or commenting and stuff like that, educational purposes, nonprofit uses, right? We can have another conversation about that. But ultimately, whether it's going to be a movie, a commercial, a business digital program that is being simulcast on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube, it doesn't really matter, right, Tamara? You're going to have to make sure that you're not using any content. I'm sure Tamara has done the homework of making sure that any audio that's being used, any music that's being used, it's coming from an archive that you have permission and licensed permission use for. And so that the same for any business, whether your business is actually, whatever your business is in the digital universe, just make sure that you are protecting your real estate, and so that you can preserve it and pass it on to, whether you're selling it or you're going to pass it on to your family or someone else in your circle.
So, Marlon, it is always a pleasure to have you. I cannot believe it's 8:01 already. In the chat, Michael's like, we need another hour. So, we have to bring you back to the show at some point in time, because whenever you're here, you provide such a wealth of information, and you make us all, of course, a little uncomfortable, because we're like, we need to get these things done on the checklist, which is good. It's a good place to be, especially as we're looking and scaling and growing these businesses. And
let me give you some advice on that, Tamara. I mean, don't get overwhelmed on the different things that you need to do. Create a little checklist of the things that you need to kind of get done. Do it incrementally. Do the hardest things first. Hardest things, maybe you don't have the budget or you have to do more research, but create the list, chip away at it. You'll feel a lot better once you kind of get those things done. And once you get them out of the way, then you can really focus on growing and thriving. Because you know what you need to kind of get done, you know exactly what it is that you need to kind of get done. And we keep procrastinating, putting it off. But I'll leave that right there.
Comments. Thank you so much for this information. Much appreciated. Thank you, Andy, for joining us. Absolutely. We all know what we need to get done. Let's get it done. There are a lot of legal elements that need to happen, but it makes sense. And we love what you talked about, especially in the beginning, where you talked about dreaming, planning, protecting, building, sustaining, and preserving. So, Marlon, I mean, it is always a pleasure to have you. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was awesome information. Everyone here is like, yeah.
Listen, always a pleasure being here with you, Tamara. Thank you for providing this platform to kind of bring us together as a community. And as always, let's go beyond the likes.
That's all I can say. Marlon, thank you. Thank you so much. We'll see you very soon. Take it easy. Thanks for joining us. Oh, guys. What a show.
We did need another hour.
You need another
I know. It's all good. All good. We'll bring Marlon.
You need a follow-up.
Absolutely. We need a follow-up. Guys, share this episode. All right. So It's almost time to get out of here. So we want to do our homework, right? So we want you to connect with us. Connect with us on YouTube. Connect with us on LinkedIn. Check us out where podcasts are, right? We're on Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and Google. So definitely check us out in those places. The other thing we want you to do is really test the effectiveness of your online presence. So I like to say, take the quiz, take the quiz, take the quiz. Scan the QR code if you are on your desktop, if you are on your laptop. If not, go to the YouTube channel and we will make sure that we drop it in the link so that you can take the quiz. This is a great way to understand where you are right now and start building a little bit of a roadmap for yourself. So we are always excited to have you here at Your Business in Digital. At Your Business in Digital, what we do is we really translate your business into digital for you, because sometimes you're making the money offline, you're doing all the things online, but digital can be daunting, and we want you to go beyond those likes and follows and get to that place of money in the bank. That's why we bring together this amazing team here of finance, sales, pricing, operations, and marketing, because really and truly, this is the structure of a small business. So that's why we have all these players here at the table. So thank you so much for joining us. Great show with Marlon Hill. Listen to, if you didn't get a chance to listen, go back, listen to this episode. So much information. Have a great day, guys. Take it easy. Bye. Getting to the outro. Take care.